All right, so the 7th movie in the Jurassic Park franchise is now out. And you know what? After going back recently and rewatching all of the movies in this franchise, I've come to realize this might be one of the most consistent movie franchises ever. Now, I'm not really talking about consistency as far as like highbrow Oscar-worthy stuff or anything like that. No, I'm just talking about consistency as far as pure blockbuster entertainment, movie after movie. I mean, that's probably not really a hot take. I'm sure a lot of you would agree with that. I mean, prior to this movie, we had 6 movies and 4 of them made over $1 billion. I mean, even the least successful movie in this franchise, Jurassic Park III, is still pretty fun at times and definitely leans into the horror element of the franchise a little bit more, which I definitely respect. But really, this franchise, it's just one of those franchises you can take the whole family, go with a group of friends, get some popcorn, some soda, and all of that, and just have a good time. And I'm happy to say that Jurassic Park Rebirth also is pretty damn fun. And obviously, I'll go through all of the reasons why I think it's fun in this video. But yes, this movie does also have its flaws. Like I said, this movie isn't gonna crack like a top 3 list for any pretentious film connoisseur or anything like that. But I mean, do we really give a shit? Absolutely not. I mean, I go to these movies just to have an absolute blast, just to go and see like this epic sci-fi adventure and basically escape reality for a couple hours while the world is just kind of, burning down around us. So basically the premise of Jurassic World Rebirth is Earth at this point in time has mostly become inhospitable for the remaining dinosaurs on the Earth. And the remaining dinosaurs live on a few small islands near the equator where they can kind of just live naturally. And a pharmaceutical company hires Scarlett Johansson, a covert operative, and her ragtag team to go to one of the islands and take samples from the 3 largest remaining dinosaurs. This sample holds the key to this revolutionary drug that they want to patent and sell and use to prevent heart disease for the entire world. And of course, make a shit ton of money along the way. But yes, as you could guess, the plan doesn't exactly go the way that they want. I mean, anytime you're mixing these giant meat-eating reptiles on a remote island, humans tend to become little chicken nuggets along the way. Now, before this movie came out, there had been some rumblings that this was going to be one of the most scary movies in this franchise. It was going to lean a little bit more horror, which definitely got me excited. I mean, the Chris Pratt movies definitely at times lean very much into the childish side. They kind of tote that line of trying to appease the children in the audience while also the adults during a 2-hour movie. And I get what they're doing with those movies. And obviously they were very, very successful. And I think a lot of things in those movies are really fun. But hearing that this movie initially was going to be a little scarier, I mean, I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm ready for that. And right off the bat with Rebirth, even though the intro to this movie is pretty short, you can see that right away. It's almost got a little bit of that Ridley Scott alien feel to it. It's pretty dark and scary and pretty mean. And then even at the end of this movie, you can definitely see that as well when it's just like dark and very, very unforgiving. And I actually really like the new cast in this movie. I'm a big fan of Scarlett Johansson. Obviously, she's a big Hollywood movie star, and she's been doing big things in Hollywood for a very, very long time. But with that said, she still seems like she's pretty down to earth. Like she would be a good hang, like coming over, on a Sunday with some friends, watching football, eating some junk food. Like she seems like the type of person who would seem pretty normal in an environment like that, even though she is a massive, rich Hollywood star. I don't know, there's just something about her that like is very non-Hollywood in a lot of ways, and I respect that about her, and I think she does a good job in this movie. I also think Mahershala Ali is great in this movie as well. He adds a little something to this cast that I think the previous few movies just didn't have. I also think Jonathan Bailey playing the paleontologist in this movie as well. You'll recognize him if you've ever seen Bridgerton, but I think he does a good job in this movie as well. So going into seeing this movie, regardless of how the script was or the story was, or if it just felt like they were kind of just recycling content from the great movies before it, one thing I was very confident going into this movie was that this movie was going to look incredible. I kind of look at it sort of like Alien Romulus. Like the movie is probably going to have some flaws, of course, but regardless of that, I was pretty confident that this movie would definitely have some replayability for me just to be transported back into this world for a couple hours. And my reason for saying that is this movie is directed by Gareth Edwards, who also directed Rogue One, who also directed The Creator, both gorgeous movies, and Jurassic World Rebirth, honestly, might be the best looking movie in this franchise. I don't know how they pulled it off, but they somehow made going to an island for the millionth time in this franchise somehow look unique and fresh and different. I don't know, there's just something about it. This island looks more exotic, more overgrown, like this island really does have a history. It has a past. There are so many shots in this movie where I'm sitting in my chair just like, oh my, like, holy shit, that looks insane. That looks so good. There's these cave moments in this movie, these really cool rock formations off of the coast of the island and all of that. And then also at the same time on the island, there's these temples and these ruins as well, which gives it this really cool, like Indiana Jones type of a feel. And there's also a decent chunk of this movie that takes place just on the open ocean. And maybe it's because Jaws just had its 50th anniversary. I'm kind of in that mood for the ocean and all of that. But I really had fun with those scenes. I thought it was something new and fresh outside of just having the majority of the action just take place on the island. I don't know, there's something about it. Also, the ocean I just think is pretty scary and suffocating at the same time, but I thought that was pulled off really, really well. And like I said a little bit earlier, by no means is this a perfect movie. I mean, the script in this movie, there's a lot of lines that just feel like generic blockbuster stuff. And I really did think Scarlett Johansson was great in this movie, but there are also some moments with her character where she definitely just feels like a fabricated mercenary badass. That's not all that believable. There's a moment on the ocean where her character has to do something really, really important, yet she's kind of fumbling and misfiring and kind of hesitating and things like that. To me, it just felt like somebody who was kind of a rookie, had maybe been sent out on her first mission without her mentor. Her mentor is just kind of like, all right, kiddo, go get him. Don't forget what I taught you. Oh, and by the way, really quick, they introduce a new mutated dino in this movie. When you saw that dino, did anyone else immediately think about the 1988 classic Willow when they saw that dinosaur? I don't know. I immediately thought about that two-headed monster in Willow when I saw this dinosaur. Anyone else? Let me know down in the comments. But yeah, anyways, this movie is kind of your typical modern era Jurassic Park in the sense of the stakes are pretty low. Like, there's not going to be a lot of things in this movie that are really, really going to shock you just as far as deaths and other things go with that. They're not going to really like go for it. You know, that's kind of standard for what we've seen recently just in the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park franchise just in general. And like I mentioned just a second ago, I mean, the script, the dialogue, the way the characters interact, the jokes and all of that. I mean, they work, they get the job done, but definitely feel kind of like a generic blockbuster kind of a thing. But where this movie really excels is just the spectacle of all of it. I mean, this movie is massive, it's pretty fast-paced, and we do get a lot of really fun action sequences along the way. And the end of this movie probably is the best part of this entire movie. It's got some fun twists and turns, it leans into the horror like I mentioned just a second ago, and really just the atmosphere of the ending, some of the shots, the creepiness, the nighttime, the shadows, the fog, all of that, I just thought was pulled off really, really well. Now, do I think Jurassic World Rebirth is the best movie in this franchise? No. Do I think this movie is the scariest movie in this franchise? No. Is this just like a full-blown Jurassic Park horror movie or anything like that? No, not at all. It still has that blockbuster, wide, appealing type of feel to it. But it's just a really fun summer blockbuster movie made by a director who really does know how to make a gorgeous movie. So yeah, go and see Jurassic World Rebirth. Take your friends, take your family to go see it. Grab a big bucket of popcorn, some soda, and just sit back and have a good time for a couple hours amongst all the craziness that's happening in this world, because that's what movies do best, right? Helps distract us from all of the crazy shit going on in life. And this movie does a great job with that. Really is a lot of fun. But anyways, everybody, thanks so much for watching my review of Jurassic World Rebirth. Really appreciate it. I will have a franchise ranking of all the Jurassic Park movies, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. And anyways, everybody, hope you have a good 4th of July and a good weekend and all of that. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Matt, and I'll talk to you in the next one.